Are you at that stage in your life where you're looking for that special guy to settle down with, to share the rest of your life with, so you can have the type of relationship that you know you desire and you know you deserve? Well, if so, I want you to pay close attention. Hey, I'm Joe Amoya, and I'm a spiritual dating and relationship coach. And in this video, we're going to show you a specific tool that you can use to make this whole dating game easier, especially if you have a history of picking the wrong guys. So bear with me. So when I was in college, I was a biology major, and I took this genetics course. And in genetics, there's this thing called a Punnett square. And a Punnett square is designed to determine specific genes, what's dominant and recessive. So for instance, if two parents had certain eye colors, what are the odds that their baby would have a certain eye color? So for instance, in genetics, brown eyes are dominant. And so if one parent has brown eyes and the other has blue, the odds are statistically the baby's going to have brown eyes. Now, the only way for babies to have blue eyes if both parents have the blue genes, because blue are what's called recessive. So there's just an example of how this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use this Punnett square for your love life. So here we go. So in order to have a happy and healthy relationship, we need two things, right? We need a female who's ready to be in a committed relationship and a male who's committed to be in a healthy relationship, right? That sounds simple, right? But we're going to break this down and help you understand why it's so difficult and why it's so hard. Okay, so let me just get this for you. Okay, so this is what a Punnett square looks like. So here we have the woman, we have you. Now, in order to be in a healthy relationship, you need to be emotionally available. You need to be emotionally available relationship partner. Now, there are two types of women in this world, emotionally unavailable and emotionally available. That's just how it is. And it works the same for men. So we have emotionally unavailable men. I know you go, yeah, I know a lot of those. I was married to one of those. Totally get it. But then there are also the emotionally available guys. Those are the ones that we want to have a relationship with. Now, here's how it works. Okay, so let me just do that. So when you have an emotionally unavailable woman and an emotionally unavailable man, that relationship is never going to work out. Now, you can have a marriage between two people and a relationship who are both emotionally unavailable, but that relationship isn't going to work. That's what I call are the toxic relationships. These are relationships that you may have heard in the psychology world called codependent. Okay, so emotionally unavailable man, emotionally unavailable woman is not going to work at all. Okay, so then we have the type where we have an emotionally unavailable man and an emotionally available woman. Now you're probably going, yep, that was me. That was my marriage. That is when you are a healthy relationship partner, but you are with a man who is emotionally unavailable. And here's the deal. No matter how much you love him, no matter how much you do for him, no matter how much you sacrifice and put your needs and desires on the back burner to make him happy and make the relationship work, it's never going to be what your heart desires. Okay. Those are the relationships where you settle. Now, it works the opposite. It works the same way for men. So when you have an emotionally available man and an emotionally available woman down here, that's the same thing. It's just the roles are reversed. When I was engaged to my ex, this is exactly where we were. I was an emotionally available guy. I thought if I just loved her and I was there for her and I sacrificed and put my needs on the back burner to take care of her and provide for her and give her everything, that it would make her happy. And ultimately, the lesson I learned is it doesn't. No matter how much you love someone, no matter how much you sacrifice, no matter how much you do for them, if they don't do the work to put themselves in a position to be emotionally available and emotionally healthy relationship partner, it's never going to work. Okay? But here's the good news. All right, and let's change colors here. Now, when you have an emotionally available woman and an emotionally available man, that's where the magic happens. That's the relationship that God wants you to have. But this is why it's so difficult, because God gives us free will. And we go through this thing called life, which affects us often unconsciously. And we create these programs, these beliefs, these behaviors, which cause us to be emotionally unavailable relationship partners. Now, let me preface by saying, I don't believe a person who is emotionally unavailable is a bad person. Okay? I don't think they're evil. Even if they do bad or evil things, what I've learned is that hurt people hurt people. And so people just develop behaviors and patterns of being that are unhealthy. And that's what we're trying to share with you on this video is I want you to have that healthy relationship that God wants you to have. This is, we talk about the spiritual principles, right? The three pillars of spiritual dating. Well, this is the second one. This is the psychology, right? This is understanding human behavior and why people do what they do and how people do what they do. So in this dating world, there's two types, emotionally available and emotionally unavailable, male and female. And so your job is to be the emotionally available relationship partner. Now, at this point, you should know if you are, right? You should know if, are you healthy? Are you resolved from your past? Do you have you eliminated your trust issues? Are you willing to put yourself out into a relationship, to be open, to be honest, to be vulnerable? Okay. And if you're not, that's okay. Then just go do the work, get yourself, because if you're emotionally unavailable and you put yourself out there, you're going to attract the wrong guys. That's God's way of showing you, look, I want you to have that healthy relationship, but you're not there yet. So I'm going to give you these relationships, these men, these experiences to show you that you need to do some work. So if that's you, go do the work. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Now, when you are emotionally available and you've done your work, right? You're like, yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I've gone to therapy. I've worked on myself. I've read books. I've gone to seminars, retreats. I'm in a much better place. I'm at peace. Been there. And now I'm ready. The goal now is to find an emotionally available man. Because here's the truth. Okay, ready? Statistically, again, that's what's beautiful about this Punnett square. Okay? We've seen this relationship isn't going to work. Okay, these relationships aren't going to work. This is the only one that's going to work. Now, according to the Punnett square genetics, you have a 25% chance of having that type of relationship. Now, here's what research shows. It's even less than that. Now, I'm not sharing that to upset you, to make you feel bad, to make you join the convent. You know, I'm all about the truth. What research shows is only 15% of people who get married and are in committed relationships have that emotionally available relationship between a man and a woman. Okay. Again, this is the relationship that you were created to have. This is the relationship God wants you to have. But you have to be that emotionally available partner. And then you have to go and find and pick a man who is emotionally available as well. Now, I know some of you, and this is where it gets very, very difficult because you're out there, you're dating, you meet a guy, you have a lot in common, but you're not putting your time and energy into identifying, is he emotionally available? No matter how great the attraction is, no matter how much we have in common, no matter how much we appear to be on the same page, is this guy an emotionally available and emotionally healthy relationship partner? Well, one of the greatest gifts my ex gave me was the ability to focus on this. So when I was out there and I was single again, and I was looking for that special partner to share the rest of my life with, yes, did I want to be attracted to her? Absolutely. Did we have to have the same values and goals? Absolutely. Did we want to have the same interests and things that we had in common where we enjoyed each other? Absolutely. But the core of that for me was making sure that she was an emotionally available and healthy relationship partner that was going to give me the marriage and the partnership that I was looking for. And that's why I want to share this with you. So I know you're saying, how do I know if he's really emotionally available? Okay. This is why you date, right? This is why you pay attention. This is why you ask questions. So I'm going to give you 3 things that will help you start to identify if a guy is emotionally available. Number 1, he's looking for a committed relationship. So these guys who are out there saying, well, I want to see where it goes. Let's just have fun and let's just take it one day at a time. They're not telling you that, hey, I'm looking for a committed relationship. Now, you can roll the dice. You can just hang out. You can cross your fingers and hoping that he sees what an amazing woman that you are and he changes his mind. But if he's not emotionally available and he's emotionally unavailable, you're going to be in that position where you've wasted your time, you've wasted your energy, and you've wound up with another guy who's not the relationship partner that you desire. All right. So that's the first sign. The second is that his actions show you he's looking for a committed relationship. One of the things I see all the time is, I met this guy and he texts and we go back and forth and says, how's your day? And this goes on for weeks and months. Well, that guy's showing you he's not looking for a committed relationship. So if you continue to invest your time and energy using your free will, God says, okay, but don't get upset when 3 months, 3 years later, the guy says, you know what? Well, I'm really not looking for a relationship. And, it's not you, it's me. Or, you know what? I'm just afraid of commitment, or I've been hurt, whatever it may be. Right. So you got to understand, you got to be able to identify these things and be honest with yourself. Right? And the third sign is that his past isn't an obstacle to him being a healthy relationship partner. Right. This is so important. This is one of the reasons why dating at this stage of life is difficult for most people, is because, let's face it, we all have a past. And a lot of people have been hurt, have been burned by the past, especially a lot of guys. And because guys haven't been taught to honor their feelings, to talk about their feelings, to seek help when they're stuck or have emotional problems, most guys just suppress that. And so that is going to rear its ugly head. So if a guy's past is an obstacle to him being a healthy relationship partner, again, no matter how much you love him, no matter how much you sacrifice, no matter how much you be there for him, he's not going to be the partner that you want. And if you want to be in a relationship with a man who's emotionally unavailable, just realize you're going to settle. And again, it's your free will, but God doesn't want you to settle. I don't want you to settle. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. So I want you to understand, this whole dating thing doesn't have to be as difficult as it appears to be. That's what we're doing now, is we're sharing these tips, strategies, things you can learn to make the changes that God wants you to make. Because God's out there going, look, my child, I want you to have that amazing relationship. I created you to love and to be loved. And so in order to have that, you've got to use your free will to make it happen. And when you do your part, I promise you, it's not like I think, or it may, I promise you, when you do your part, God will do his part, and he will fill in the blanks and lead you in the direction that you meant to be, until ultimately you and the love of your life shows up. And when that happens, there's no more doubts, there's no more questions, there's no more overthinking. It's just this amazing guy shows up and he's like, I've been looking for a woman like you. Where have you been all my life? And the more you get to know him, the more you see that he's legit. Until one day you're like, holy crap, like this is how it was supposed to be. So I really hope this helps. I really hope it resonates. Now, before we go, 2 things. Number one, I want you might have to go back and look at this, but I want you, if you've been married, I want you to look at your marriage. Okay. And see which of these 4 squares did your marriage fit into, right? Was it that you were emotionally available and your husband was emotionally unavailable? Okay. And if you're really honest, was it that, for whatever reason, you were emotionally unavailable and you picked an emotionally unavailable guy, and it was a toxic relationship. It was a codependent. It was unhealthy relationship. Again, there's no judgment. If we don't shine the light on the path and look on the past and learn from it, we tend to repeat it. So whatever it may be, just go ahead, take some mirror time. And if you don't mind sharing with us. And the reason we do that is I want you and the other members of this community to go, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who did that. There are others who did the same thing. Because when we see that we're human, we all kind of do the same thing, and that we can learn from each other, that's how we grow, and that's ultimately how we succeed in life. So if you don't mind, go ahead and share what your experience has been. Now, last thing is I want you to go ahead, if you're watching this on YouTube, is go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. This channel has been really dormant for basically 3 years. And so we want to get it back to life. And one of the ways we get it back to life and get it back into the universe is by more people interacting. So if you would just take the time to hit the like and to subscribe button, not only will it help us get it out there, but it'll notify you when the next video is ready. So that being said, we're going to wrap it up. I hope this helps. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, feel free to put it in the box below or reach out personally. Have an amazing day. Love and appreciate you. See you next time.